Hello, friends, and welcome. This is episode 10 of Journey into Fandom Season 2. This is the season finale. We made it. We did this. It only took us, I don't know, a year and 3 months. However, this is a podcast where I have guests on to discuss what fandoms and communities they're part of, what their experience has been, what the memes are, and how toxic or wholesome it is. I'm your host, Karis Lunn, and today on the show we had Phil Gaimz on to talk about the game Undertale. Phil is an amazing content creator. He's done a ton of great Undertale videos on YouTube, and he's also working on some really cool and exciting Kingdom Hearts stuff as well. So definitely check that out. But this was a really fun chat. Now, without any further ado, please join me on this journey into fandom. Today on the show, we have Phil Gaimz on to talk about Undertale. So, hello, how are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Excellent. And you've never been on this show before, but
Nope.
you did come on to the finale of Kingdom Minds, which was a lot of fun.
Yes, that was very fun.
But that was so long ago now.
No, it doesn't feel like that long ago, but
it was a minute.
it really was.
Yeah, that was so good. We had a huge episode with 7 or 8 different people, like Andy Brew and the Landy Lodge and everybody. It was so great. But yeah, who we are, and we're gonna talk about Undertale today. Now, this is something I know very little about.
All right, that's perfect.
Do you want me to tell you what I know so far?
Yes, I was going to ask you that actually,
Okay.
so that would be great.
So, I know that it's a game.
Good start.
I know it's an indie game. I don't know who makes it. I know that there's a skeleton called Sans, who's a big meme.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also aware that there's some kind of spin-off fan-made show called Glitch Tale. Is that correct?
Uh-huh. Yes, that is correct.
And that's about it. That's the extent of my knowledge. And I know that
Have you heard any of the soundtracks from it?
No.
Because there's one big one that most people have heard, but if not, that's cool too.
I probably have heard it, but I couldn't
Okay.
I couldn't tell you what it is. So maybe I haven't. I don't know.
Usually it's kind of paired up with Sans. Usually when you see him, you would hear this song playing.
Okay, I'm sure I've heard it in that case.
Okay.
I can't identify it off the top of my head. So that's it. That's my knowledge. But I'm excited. I'm excited to learn about it today. Because I think that this is a fun element of the show is teach Karis about something. So
yes.
Yeah. So I know that you're a little bit aware of the format of the show. And so I'm gonna do the whole 2-minute thing now.
Yes, I'm ready. I've been preparing.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Mentally.
Amazing. So for those of you who know literally nothing about this topic, like me, then Phil has got 2 minutes to give you, the listeners, a bit of context and the condensed wiki article version of Undertale. So are you ready for this?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, I got my timer ready. Okay, all right, so 3, 2, 1, go.
All right, so Undertale is like was established earlier, an indie game released on September 2015 by a guy named Toby Fox. He made almost the entire game himself with a little bit of art help from Temi Chang and a few other people here and there. It is about a kid who climbs a mountain and falls down a hole into this giant underground cavern system full of friendly monsters, and you have to try to make your way out. And then a bunch of other stuff happens there that would be spoilers.
All right.
So yeah, that's the basic premise of the game. And that's what we got. And then basically 3 years went by with very little official content. And then all of a sudden on October 31, 2018, Toby Fox shadow dropped the first chapter of his next game, Deltarune, which is about a kid named Chris with a K, who is the only human living in a town of familiar looking monsters, which is decidedly not underground. And they are just having a normal day at school, and then they step into the school supply closet with the class bully Susie, and then they fall into a dark world, and then they have to try to get out. And then chapter
Very
2
cool.
was also dropped on September 17, 2021, and that's
Cool.
basically all the official content we have of this game.
Amazing. You have like 3 seconds left, so you timed that very well. Oh, that was my timer going off. Stop that. Oh, wow, that was awesome. So yeah, it seems like it's one of those things that it's like super spoiler heavy and it's hard to talk
Yes.
about. Like I think One Piece is like one of those things as well.
Okay.
Where it's super hard to say anything about it because there's so much. And I really enjoy really kind of in-depth lore. I guess that's why I'm a Kingdom Hearts fan. So
Yeah.
yeah, and
Yep.
just like intense like storytelling. So I'm like a weird person in that I really prioritize story over gameplay. Like I don't really find games that fun.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of the same way, at least in prioritizing story over gameplay. I do enjoy playing the games, but I find watching a playthrough of them just as valid of a means of experiencing them, or watching cutscene compilations even. That's just as valid a way of experiencing them as playing the game yourself.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. So, when did you get invested in Undertale? Tell me about your journey.
All right, so I first heard about the game in kind of mid to late 2017, I think. I was watching a bunch of old game theories. This was like back before I watched YouTube hardly at all. They were like the only channel I was subscribed to. So I was just
Mhm.
bored and watching a bunch of their old videos and came across Undertale ones. And something about it, something about the vibe of the game just intrigued me. I don't even know exactly what it was about it, because it's not like what I like about it specifically now. It was so much more than I could have ever expected it to be. So, but anyway, it looked interesting, so then I
Mm.
did watch a playthrough of it. And it had me the whole way, like with the humor. There was a lot of humor, especially that was mainly what kept me going through the whole game. And then at the end there was just this super cool plot twist that I thought was just like the coolest thing I had ever seen.
That's awesome.
And ever since then I've grown to be able to appreciate even the like way more emotional stuff. I know that's what a lot of people will take away from it, on their first playthrough, but actually there is kind of a story with this. So
Okay.
I am autistic. I have like low empathy, which I didn't know at the time. But
Okay.
that does kind of play into this. So I in fictional stories, I didn't really go to them for like the emotional stuff. It was more for like what I said earlier, the cool plot twist, the humor, and stuff like that. So
Right. Yeah, the big story
that's
beats. Yeah.
that was my first experience of Undertale.
Mhm.
But then I started watching a bunch of other people's playthroughs to just to see their reactions because I thought it was fun. And just something about seeing them, like seeing their emotional reactions, helped me to um like almost overcome, not completely, but like it helped me with that low empathy thing even going forward. Like it could just be because I'm because I was getting older, but like I like to attribute some of it to Undertale, that it watching other people experience it and get emotional over it really helped me to be able to process other fictional stories in that way as well. And um, so, yeah, Undertale kind of changed my life in that way, which is really cool.
That is really cool.
hmm
And I think
I
like
really wanted to talk about on here because it involves like the fandom and people sharing their experiences with it online and stuff.
yeah, and I think that's like one of the really cool things about fandom is not just connecting with other people because of like a shared interest in a thing, but getting to know them almost on a more personal level because you see how the thing that you love impacts other people too. And that's just really, really dope and very exciting. So, yeah, that's a really cool story. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing.
no problem.
That's so awesome. So, yeah, let's talk a little bit about the community because I know that I'm pretty sure that the Undertale community like decided to just become its own like entity in and of itself.
Yeah.
Like
um
I remember that you mentioned the Super Eye Patch Wolf video, and I'm pretty sure
yes.
I watched like the first like 5 minutes of it, and then it was like spoilers, and so then I
Yeah.
didn't get around to watching the rest of it. But it seemed very much it's just like I don't know. It's like its own like living thing, that organism that just does its own thing, like pretty much independent of the game, which I think is really crazy. So tell me about
Yeah.
that.
Um I wasn't around for a lot of that, like the super big height of the game's popularity was in like early 2016.
Okay.
But so then that video was actually really helpful in kind of telling me about how that process went. Um I think what he says is something like people were just they just wanted more content so bad. Like this game, I mean, I was kind of talking about the emotionalness of it earlier, but I can't really stress enough just how powerful, how like how much this game makes people feel things, and they just wanted more, so they started creating stuff of their own, which that is pretty normal for any fictional story. But then what was also happening is that people were like actually super interested in these fan creations that other people were creating. So like um tons of different fan stories began to have like separate followings of their own, um and it got so big, some of them, that people started finding out about those fan things before they had even heard of Undertale. So as Super Eye Patch Wolf puts it, I'm pretty sure this is an exact quote, the fandom basically became self-perpetuating.
That's so
which I really like
crazy.
that way of putting it. Yeah, it is very crazy. I've had it's funny you mentioned Glitch Tale earlier, because I've done content specifically about Glitch Tale before, and I've had people comment on those videos being like, "Yeah, I found out about Undertale through Glitch Tale."
That's so cool.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it yeah, it's crazy.
It's really cool that um yeah, that's something that somebody made because they loved a thing in the first place, then just gets its own community. That's really
Yeah,
cool because I don't think I've really heard of that happening much. I mean, yeah, you get like some fan dubs of things that people think is like funny or whatever, but like not something that people are like super invested in to the point where, yeah, I found out about the actual content through this.
yeah,
I think that I I haven't ever really heard of that happening. Like I only hear about people oh, I found this because I'm really interested in this game or this whatever movie series or whatever it is. And so I was seeking after content based around that. Um
yeah.
so
So
that's
so
really cool.
that's kind of going into a question for later. Maybe is like, what's something that's completely unique to this fandom? It's that plus even more that I don't know if we want to go on to that now, or
Sure.
if I talk about that later.
No, that's fine.
Um, okay, so you have these fan made creations. A lot of them are like um, they're like either alternate universes, where, for example, two of the biggest ones are one like called Underfell, where basically all the characters in the game that are normally nice are super mean, and the ones that are usually mean are nice.
Amazing.
That one was like the first really big one, and another one called Underswap, which is basically you have the two characters who are kind of a pair. Like you have Sans, and then he has a brother. So Underswap takes their personalities and kind of swaps them around, um, and it creates like their own separate characters, separate from Undertale. Um, so
That's
you
so
have
cool.
those, and then you have other stories that it's kind of hard to say without spoiling. I guess this isn't a spoiler, but like Undertale plays already like super heavily plays with the idea of alternate timelines. Um,
Okay.
so uh, a lot of these stories also are like ones that uh like you can't experience in game, but like alternate timelines that are possible um given the game's lore. So you have stories like that, and then someone decided, hey, what if I make a character that uh can see all of these different universes and timelines, and can travel between them, um, and thus making it an entire multiverse and opening up the possibility for a bunch of crossovers and a bunch of new characters created for these crossovers, and stuff like that. That is it gets crazy. Super Eye Patch World explains it way better than I ever could in that
Uh,
video, but
yeah.
um
That sounds
it
so dope, though.
yeah, it is. It really is. So you have Glitch Tale as one of these super big hours long animated YouTube series, and then the other super big one is called Underverse, which is just a giant crossover between a bunch of different fan made AUs, and it's actually freaking phenomenal.
That's
it's
so cool.
yeah, like it. I could gush about Underverse for so long. The characters are so well written. Uh, the animation is stunning, especially in the latest episodes. It it's amazing.
And is it ongoing too? Like, is it
Yes, yeah, it's not finished yet.
okay? Man, that sounds so awesome.
I know.
Like,
It
yeah,
really is.
the Undertale multiverse. It's all coming together. And
Hmm.
so like do do the people that make these different things, like does the Underverse person like or maybe team of people, I don't know. Do they is like the people that made the original like AUs, are they involved in the Underverse? Is this like a big collaboration or is it
Um,
like one person doing it?
well, it's mainly one person making Underverse, but um, so it's not technically a collaboration, but some of the original creators of those other characters are huge fans of Underverse also, and like they'll be like, hey, I think in the next episode or whatever, uh my character, you could be more accurate with my character if you portrayed them a little bit more this way, um
Mm,
or maybe even like way before it started, which both Glitchtail and Underverse started back in like 2016. So
dang.
each of them being animated by basically just one person means that it takes a long time to do.
Oh yeah,
um
for sure.
yeah.
Oh, that's so
um
cool.
yeah.
So, do you watch like all of these? Do you try and like keep up with it? Like it sounds like there's so much content out there.
Well, I don't keep up with all of it for sure. Like it's mainly Glitchtail and Underverse that I follow, and then I have actually kind of recently, for the first time for some of them, read all of the original sources of all of the characters that are or are going to be in Underverse. Um,
Cool.
I actually made like a big document that puts them all into one place, just in case anyone who has played Undertale um, who like wants to get into Underverse but wants to know some of this stuff beforehand. Uh, uh, yeah, I made a document that puts them all together, and you can find a link to that on my Discord
Let's
if you
go.
want.
And that sounds super helpful to anybody who wants to know these things.
Yeah.
So, do you think that all of these fan made um like stories that are coming, do you think that that makes Undertale better? Or do you
That
think
is
it
an
stands on
interesting
its
question.
own? Like, I'm
Oh,
curious.
it definitely stands on its own. Uh, like I said, I was super into it like uh way before I even knew that all of these alternate universes and stuff existed. Um, so it definitely stands on its own. But uh, for I guess for me and for a lot of other people, from what I've heard, these ongoing stories like Glitchtail and Underverse do uh, kind of help some people to stay invested in Undertale itself.
Yeah.
Like some of these people would probably not have thought about the game for years if these things had not kept going. And there also is Deltarune, which also isn't finished yet, but that's kind of another thing. Although I do have kind of a fun story about that, maybe.
Yeah, let's hear it. What's your story?
Okay, well, it's about when Deltarune first came out, because it was really cool the way that Toby Fox kind of revealed it. Because, like I said earlier, we had, or like I hinted at earlier, we had no idea he was even working on another game. Um,
Right.
there's so much to explain with this, though. So I guess we should talk about him anyway. There's this one character in Undertale, um, named W.D. Gaster, and this is not a spoiler at all because there there's a super small chance that you'll even come across any evidence of this character's existence in any normal playthrough of Undertale. But
Okay.
In super rare cases, you can come across these people who tell you about this guy who was the former royal scientist who was shattered across time and space. And then, even rarer, you can find this room that basically just contains what most people think is a sprite of him.
Dang.
So the reason I am talking about this is that fans took this character and went absolutely wild with him. Gaster is one of the main characters of Glitch Tale. An alternate version of Gaster is basically the main villain of Underverse. It's crazy. So what that has to do with Deltarune is that I believe the day before Chapter 1 ended up dropping, the Undertale Twitter account changed to having a like a black PFP and just a bunch of black squares as the name of the account.
Nice.
And started talking to fans in what any hardcore fan or theorist would probably recognize as the voice of Gaster.
That's crazy.
And yeah, it's pretty crazy, especially since we had got like hardly any extra content or like new lore
Man.
before that. So then he has this whole conversation, well, not really conversation, but kind of a monologue, and then he links you to this website called deltarune.com. And you download this program that's called Survey Program. And what his little monologue had been seeming to hint at was that Toby Fox was going to put out a little survey having people basically say what they would like to see him do next with Undertale. So you download this survey program and it's like, oh, that's cool. Then you open it and the monologue from Gaster continues basically right where it left off in the program.
What?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. And then it takes you into this like character creator basically. So I thought it was just this like super cool in-depth survey program, and you would have like an avatar and stuff. So then you start making it, and then it starts asking questions, and then the questions start getting super weird. And it starts like kind of freaking me out a little. I'm like, what is this? Because like I kind of think that like this is going to be uploaded online and people are going to be able to see what I'm answering. And like there was one part of it where it was like, all right, you've made this avatar, now name your creation. So I put my own name in, and then it was like, all right, what's the creator's name? And I was like, and I put my own name in again, and then it was like, of course they're the same. That makes sense. The game said that to me.
Wow.
Then at the end, it is like excellent, most excellent. Now your creation, and then everything goes black, and then it says, will be discarded. No one can choose who they are in this world. Your name is, and then suddenly a screen, like a normal Undertale-ish looking game screen pops up with someone saying the name Chris. And suddenly you're playing a new game.
No.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah. So like you'll still see, like, if you look up Deltarune playthroughs, you'll still see that whole character creator section. But like, it
Man.
freaked me out the first time. It was
Yeah.
crazy. Not a lot of people got to have that experience, obviously, because like they're like, oh, there's a new game by Toby Fox. Download it. It's called Deltarune.
Yeah. So you
yeah.
got there before everybody knew about it.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah. It was a crazy time.
Yeah.
But yeah, Deltarune has been really cool in like reinvigorating the community, the fandom, especially when it comes to theorizing, because by the point that that had come out, Undertale theories were really dying down because there wasn't really much to talk about.
Yeah.
But now we have this, and not only does it have its own ongoing story to theorize about, but like there's its many connections to Gaster and what that might mean for Undertale, and it's been super fun.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that's exciting. It's always fun to have new content, new things to be talking about and get excited about. So we love to see it. Now, I have another question. And it's about Sans. He's not the main character of Undertale, is that right?
No.
No. So like how come he took off and became his own thing?
Well,
Is it just that people think he's cool, or I don't know?
Well, yes.
Because he's like all I know about Undertale.
Yeah. Well, first of all, he is pretty funny. He's a pretty funny character, but there's also so much more to him that even saying this is almost a spoiler, that you have to really look deep into it to find the depth of his character. But once you find it, it's like, whoa, this guy is a really interesting character. So
that's cool.
That's probably the main reason.
Awesome.
And also when you pair it with that song I mentioned earlier, that song, it's very good.
Let's go.
The whole OST actually just you should give it a try.
Okay.
I would say that to anyone. It is definitely worth at least checking out. It's amazing.
Very cool. Yeah, I'll have to give that a look. What's like the biggest thing that you would say to someone that's never played Undertale before? Like if they wanted to get into it.
I would just say it's got amazing characters, brilliant writing, a super interesting world and plot, a very expansive meta narrative. It's got it all. Like, I mean, it's not for everyone, but I think to be honest, talking to anyone who likes Kingdom Hearts for the story, I'd say, yeah, you should try this game. I think you would like it.
Okay.
It has a lot of friendship, feel good stuff, and a lot of stuff about a lot of themes of forgiveness too. Is one thing that I talk a lot about in my analyzing Undertale from a Christian perspective video that I mentioned to you.
Yes, I really want to check that out. So I feel like I should play the game so that I can watch your video about that.
Yeah, and even if you don't want to play it, just look up a playthrough. Like I said, that was my first experience with it, and it was great. I loved it a lot.
Let's go. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do it. I'm gonna have to give it a shot. And I always say this, and then I don't, but I think I have to this time.
Yeah. I will also say if anyone does want to just watch a playthrough of it, but like wants a playthrough that like goes into as many of the secrets as possible so that you can like maybe get into the fan content afterward that kind of explores a lot of those secrets more. I do have I did do a playthrough of that that's like that on my second channel. So if anyone's interested, that's there.
Sweet. Yeah, send me all the links and I'll make
All
sure they're
right.
in the show notes and stuff like that.
I will do that.
Very cool. So, what's something that you're excited about the future of Undertale? Is there anything you're excited about the future of this game? Or indeed any of the wider content?
Well, yeah, I am just really interested to see where Deltarune is going next. And like, while I do like the story of Deltarune in itself, I am still kind of mostly interested in it for the things that it might reveal about Undertale. um, uh, and it still hasn't done a ton of that yet, so I'm excited for when it does start to do that. And just getting more content in general is great. And then for Glitchtale and Underverse too, like Glitchtale season 2 has been done for a little bit. Season 3 is going to be starting pretty soon, and like um season 3 is going to be a prequel, and like the world that I always forget to do this. I need to mention the creators of these. So Glitchtale is by Camila Cuevas. And she, for this prequel, has created this huge world with so many little details and different characters that are going to move the plot in different ways. So I'm really excited to see what she's going to do with that.
That's so cool.
And then with Underverse, there's already so much going on in that story. But then at the end of the latest episode, it just introduced a new character, like a new old character, a new character that had been made by someone else forever ago, and then it still has one more other than that it has to introduce yet, and I am very, very intrigued what role they will play in the plot. I'm sure it's going to be something very interesting and clever, because it always is with Underverse. It never misses.
We love to hear it. We love to see it. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's so exciting. Yeah, and I mean, it's clear that you're passionate about Undertale.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, would you say there's like one thing about it that you're like, yeah, that's it, that makes you keep coming back to Undertale?
I mean, it's it's kind of like when you watch a movie or a TV show that you really like, and then you want to watch it again, and like there's always these certain scenes that you're super excited for, and they just give you chills every single time. Undertale has a lot of those, and I just really enjoy experiencing those over and over again. And the rest of the game is great too. Definitely worth going through over and over again to get to the parts that I really, really like.
Yeah, that's so fun. Amazing. Well, we are coming up on time now, but
Yeah.
is there anything else you want to tell me about Undertale, or any of the fan stuff, or just anything, like a way that it's like spoken to you personally, anything at all?
Well, I kind of already mentioned the thing like with it helping me to have more empathy, and
Yeah.
a lot of the other stuff I guess would be mentioned in the Analyzing Undertale from a Christian Perspective video. That kind of goes into spoilers a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, and I will say, like, this isn't something that maybe has affected me personally as much, but there is like one other big thing that makes Undertale and the way it tells its story really special and unique that I've been avoiding, because even talking about it is kind of a spoiler, because part of what makes it so interesting is finding out about it. But if anyone does want to know about that, there's a video called "What Was So Good About Undertale Anyway" by Andrew Cunningham. He talks about it there. It's very, very interesting. Very well made video.
That's so cool. Yeah. And any other creators that you want to give a shout out as well?
One channel that I like to watch is Half Bread Chaos, bread as in the food, BREAD.
Nice.
They like talk about just sometimes the randomest stuff about Undertale and Deltarune, but a lot of times it's like with some deep dives into the code to try and figure certain stuff out, and like sometimes it's about the lore and sometimes it's just about this weird thing that happened to them once. And that's been super interesting to me.
Yeah, that's cool. It reminds me of the regular pet video where
Yes,
he's like,
yes.
I didn't realize that he was getting bunked on the head.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, what? You never saw her head? Like, what did you think was going on?
Yeah. And some of their videos are kind of like Pat's, where it's like when you see the title, it's like, why would anyone think to make a video about this? And you actually watch it and you're like, wow, that was actually really interesting. I'm glad I watched that.
Yeah, I love that. I love like videos that like this shouldn't be interesting, but it is. Amazing. Well, Phil, thank you so much for coming on this show. I
Yeah, it
really
was really fun.
enjoyed our chat. This was great.
Me too.
Yes. So where can people find you on the internet?
All right, so you can find me on my main YouTube channel is just Phil Gaimz, PhilGaimz. And I believe my Twitch is Phil_Games. I haven't been streaming recently because my internet is bad, but we're supposed to get an upgrade in sometime this spring or summer, hopefully. So hopefully I can get back to streaming then.
Let's go.
Yeah. I also have a second channel called Phil Actually Games, where I will be posting my stream VODs and just other random stuff that doesn't really fit on my main channel. And then I also have my other big project that's going on right now, which is its own separate YouTube channel, the Kingdom Hearts Movie Theater, where I will
I'm
be
so excited.
Yeah, where I will be posting cutscene compilations of every single Kingdom Hearts game that includes all optional story content and has a lot of the currently unvoiced scenes from the game being voiced by some amazing voice actors, as well as some other little order things that I switched around when I felt like it made sense. I don't know if that makes total sense, but you'll see it eventually. I haven't posted anything there yet besides the first announcement video, but Kingdom Hearts 1 is almost done. I'm still waiting on a few voice actors, but that should be somewhat soon, I hope. And then I guess I also want to shout out another podcast that I was on in like December called what was it called? Random Caffeine Induced Conversations. Just like if you want to know me better personally, because on there we basically ended up talking about every single major creative project that I've ever done in my entire life, which was not the plan, but that's what we ended up doing. So that was super fun. Yeah, and I also have my Discord server, which is linked in all of my YouTube videos. And I have Twitter also. I don't post on there super often, but that is at GamesPhil. And I think that's everything.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for
problem.
for telling me all of those things, because I feel like that's something that I should have kind of asked you earlier and didn't is like, what got you making Undertale content in the first place? Like, what inspired you to do that?
Well, actually, my first content ever was Undertale. It's basically the reason that I started my YouTube channel. I don't want to go super into my old content because I'm not very proud of it.
That's okay.
But
None of us are.
Basically, I had something very specific that I wanted to do that nobody else had done because it was a dumb idea. So I did it, and then I just kept making content. And I also should mention, this is something I wanted to say because it's super cool. One of the first major Glitchtale videos that I made, it was basically explaining the entire story, everything that happened, and I said in that first video that I was going to keep updating it as more Glitchtale content came out. And then the creator of Glitchtale saw it and was like, hey, what if I posted your next update to this on my channel? And then she did. And that's kind of how I got my first big break, I guess, on YouTube. Yeah. That was super cool.
That's awesome.
So thanks, Cammy, for that. Still, that was like several years ago, but if you see this, thank you still.
Yes. Yeah, thank you so much for coming on. And now this is your next big break, is coming on to Journey into
Oh, yeah,
Fandom.
for sure.
No, I'm kidding. This is a very awesome. Tiny podcast.
Yeah. Hopefully my next big break will be just me getting back to making regular content again. Because I do hope to hire an editor soon so that I can really get back into that.
Oh, that's
because I
awesome.
haven't made any super big video essays in a while.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Well,
yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. And
you're welcome.
So that was Phil Gaimz. This was a great episode, and since we recorded it, I've started watching Phil's spoiler-free Undertale playthrough because I've been interested in the game for a while now, and it's really great so far. So you should definitely check it out. I decided to watch it because I'm too tired to play games most of the time, plus I can also do my knitting at the same time, so it's a win-win for me. My name is Karis. You can follow Journey into Fandom on Twitter at j_into_fandom, and I am at Carrisonford on Twitter. Please also join the official Discord for all my podcasts, Retrospective and Journey into Fandom. Thank you for listening. Bye.